In this video, we are exploring through Sleeping Bear Dunes National Lakeshore, and begin where many visitors start, at the Philip Ahart Visitor Center in Empire, Michigan. Named after Senator Philip Ahart, who championed the preservation of this stunning stretch of Lake Michigan shoreline, the center serves as both a welcome point and a window into the region's layered past. Inside, there's a small museum section that offers a compelling introduction to the area's natural and cultural history. Displays trace the story of the dunes, from the retreat of the Ice Age glaciers that sculpted the landscape, to the ongoing forces of wind and water that continue to shape it today. But it's not just a story of geology, it's also a story of the people. Exhibits highlight the enduring presence of the Anishinaabe, who have called this region home for centuries, living in harmony with its forests, lakes, and dunes. Later in the 1800s, European settlers arrived, establishing lumber towns and agricultural communities across the peninsula. Logging boomed, railroads came and went, and orchards replaced forests. As you explore the trails and dunes, you'll notice that the Sleeping Bear is more than just sand. It's a surprisingly rich and diverse ecosystem. Scattered across the dunes and forest edges, you'll find hardy plants like grass, juniper, and bearberry, species that specifically adapted to survive in the dry, shifting sands. The root systems help stabilize the dunes and prevent erosion, quietly doing the hard work of holding the landscape together. Step into the forested areas, you'll encounter stands of maple, beech, and hemlock, forming a shaded contrast to the sun-drenched dunes. These forests are home to all kinds of wildlife, from white-tailed deer to red foxes to songbirds like warblers and chickadees. If you're lucky and hiking quietly, you might even catch a glimpse of a wild turkey strutting through the underbush, or hear the distant call of a sand-hill crane echoing from a nearby wetland. This combination of shifting dunes, hardwood forests, and wetlands create one of the most biologically rich environments along Lake Michigan's shoreline. It's a living reminder that there's more to these hills of sand than meets the eye. The center does a great job of weaving those narratives together, and just off the main hall, the gift shop offers a wide selection of books, maps, and Michigan-made goods, perfect for planning your visit or finding a keepsake that ties you to this unforgettable landscape. Before wrapping up our time in Empire, we made a quick stop at the Empire Beach and the Robert H. Manning Memorial Lighthouse. Though it is small in stature, this lighthouse holds a big meaning. It was built in 1990 to honor Robert Manning, a local man who simply loved the water and wanted to give something back to his community. It's one of the few memorial lighthouses in the country. And just steps away, the beach offers a peaceful stretch of shoreline where the Lake Michigan meets the dunes, with its waves gently rolling in and the lighthouse standing quietly behind. It was a fitting and serene end to our time here in Empire. From there, we headed to one of the most iconic features of the entire park, the dune climb. The towering sand dunes rise dramatically from the parking area, and right away you can feel their scale. Climbing up the first ridge is a challenge in and of itself. Each step forward seems to slide you a half step back. But once you make it over the top, the views begin to unfold, sweeping vistas of Glen Lake behind you and miles of rolling dune ridges ahead of you. The Dunes Trail is the park's signature hike. It's roughly a 3.5-mile round trip from the trailhead to Lake Michigan shoreline and back. It might not sound far, but don't be fooled. Hiking in loose sand is a whole different kind of challenge. Every step sinks, every hill seems taller, and with no shade along the way, the open sun can wear you out quickly. So be sure to bring plenty of water, sunscreen, and maybe a hat, especially during the summer. But what makes this hike unforgettable isn't just the view at the end, it's the journey across the landscape is unlike any other. As you crest the first few dunes, it feels almost like you're walking into another planet. These golden hills roll and ripple in every direction. And though they may seem timeless, they're actually always on the move. These dunes were formed over thousands of years by glacial retreat, wave action, and constant wind. Some of the larger perch dunes can migrate several feet per year. About halfway in, the lake still is in the distance. The silence becomes noticeable, no traffic, no buzz, it's the sound of your footsteps and the wind across the sand. It's in this stillness that the deeper story of this place starts to emerge. This land was once home to the Anishinaabe people, whose legends gave Sleeping Bear Dunes its name. According to the story, a mother bear and her two cubs swam across Lake Michigan to escape a forest fire in Wisconsin. The cubs, too tired to finish the journey, sank beneath the waves. The mother bear climbed to the top of the bluff to wait for them, and never left. Over time, the wind covered her with the sand, forming the Sleeping Bear. The two Manitou Islands offshore are said to be the resting places of her cubs. As you near the shoreline, Lake Michigan begins to peek through the distance, deep blue and vast, stretching to the horizon. During the last ice age, this entire region was buried under a mile-thick sheet of ice. the way the glaciers carved out the basins that would become the Great Lakes. As the ice retreated, it left behind ridges, moraines, and the shady deposits that wind would shape into the dunes you're now climbing. Reaching the lake feels like a reward, a breathtaking expanse of fresh water framed by cliffs and open sky. It's one of the few places where you truly feel the scale and power of the nature. And while it's tempting to stay and take it all in, the return hike across the sand is no less demanding, so pace yourself. Sleeping Bear Dunes was designated National Lakeshore in 1970, thanks to its efforts from local conservationists and residents who fought to preserve the area's natural and cultural heritage. Today, it protects over 70,000 acres of shoreline, dune fields, forests, and inland lakes. It's a true sanctuary on Michigan's northwest coast. After the challenge of the Dunes Trail, I made my way over to the Sleeping Bear Point Trail, a quieter loop tucked just a few miles away. And while it's not as steep or demanding as the previous hike, it offers a different kind of beauty, more peaceful, more varied, and full of unexpected discoveries. The trail winds through shifting dunes, patches of pine forest, and grassy open areas where wildflowers sway in the breeze. The landscape constantly changes under your feet. One moment you're walking on hard-packed trail, the next you're cresting a soft sand ridge with sweeping views of the lake. Sleeping Bear Point itself has a story to tell. Just offshore lies one of the most dangerous stretches of water along the Great Lakes. Known as the Manitou Passage, these waters were once crowded with freighters that moved goods between ports. But with the shifting sandbars, hidden shoals, and unpredictable weather, it became a site of countless shipwrecks. In fact, not far from this trail is the site of a life-saving station, established in the early 1900s by the U.S. Life-Saving Service, a forerunner of the modern Coast Guard. Crews here would train rigorously to respond to distress signals, launching rowboats into crashing surf to rescue sailors from sinking vessels. Their bravery became legendary along the shoreline. As I walked, I noticed how quiet it felt out here. The breeze off the lake, the rustle of the dune grass, and the occasional chirp of a bird. It's more of a meditative kind of hike. You're reminded that the beauty of Sleeping Bear isn't just its dramatic overlooks or postcard views, but it's also these softer, quieter moments tucked away between the trees and the dunes. This loop reconnects you with the raw rhythm of nature, the push and pull between the sand, the wind, the water, and the time. Our next to last visit, we headed to one of the most breathtaking overlooks in the Midwest, the Dune Overlook on the Pierce Stalking Scenic Drive. It's truly a spectacular view. From here, 400 feet above Lake Michigan, you get a jaw-dropping view of the vast blue water below, and the long ribbon of sandy shoreline curving off into the distance. The drop is steep, and the sign reminds you not to attempt climbing if you do go down, but the views alone are worth the stop. This overlook is named after Pierce Stalking, a local man who helped open the beauty of the dunes to the public in the 1960s by creating a scenic drive. He believed that this landscape, its history, its granular, was something everyone should be able to enjoy, and standing at this overlook, it's easy to understand why. As the day began to wind down, we made one final stop for a sunset hike along the Empire Bluff Trail. It's a relatively short trail of just under 1.5 miles round trip, but the payoff is extraordinary. The path winds gently through quiet beech and maple forest, golden with late sun, until it opens up to a sweeping vista high above Lake Michigan. From the bluff you can see for miles in every direction, dunes rolling off in the distance, South Bar Lake below, and the endless horizon where the water meets the sky. As the sun dipped low, the sky turns hues of rose, orange, and violet, casting long shadows across the sand and forest. It's the kind of place that hushes you into a silence. And if you look closely from the overlook, you can spot both the Sleeping Bear Dune Overlook and the lighthouse that we stopped by earlier. It's a silent sentinel along the shoreline, tying the day together with one final panoramic view. Sleeping Bear Dunes isn't just a collection of sand and shoreline. It's a living, breathing environment shaped by wind, water, and time. It's also a place deeply connected to human stories, from indigenous traditions and early settlers to preservation efforts that save this land for future generations. Whether you're hiking through shifting sand dunes, atop a scenic overlook, or wandering on the beach, the park invites you to slow down, take it in, and remember that places like this are rare and worth protecting. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one.